uh, uh, radio check, radio check. Lurk at work is in the AO. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can join us today for a rather late and a rather poorly planned Motorsport Manager stream. I have to apologize for the very late run today. I wasn't supposed to be late, but some things got in the way, and well, that kind of held me back from starting properly. Now we're here, an hour late from the usual time. Probably not have enough time for more than one stage at this rate. Well, whatever the case, after all, I did take a break yesterday, and instead of well, it was mostly less of a break and more dealing with in real life IRL stuff that cannot be postponed. Fortunately, that didn't really help my stuff much. Well, whatever. At the current rate things are going, we might not be able to do anything properly. Anywho, let's get back into the action. As a recap from the previous run, we actually managed to get the calendar. We actually managed to get first and third in Guildford because of a lucky break in the tires. And thankfully, the weather also did not affect us much, despite the fact that, yeah, it was mostly sunny for most of the run. While Sue, unfortunately, dropped down a third after a bit of a extreme run with his tires, putting Perez up on top, and Ozu Motorsports much ahead of him at second. At least he's fine with his points, but he did have a bit of a trouble run with his mechanic afterwards, not exactly helping our staff there. They've been at it for 27 weeks, but they haven't gotten a lot of relationship drops, so we can't really gain access to their special abilities, and we have the problem of Adam Kelly getting older and thus lowering his stats rapidly. Jessica Legg, not exactly up there, but she's got a lot of potential. We just need to get her up faster. Not exactly an easy job, especially when considering we're penny pinching over here. Now we have to worry about Tondela. Tondela is currently, oh, rather, this second run at Tondela is currently the 8th run of this race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the 8th leg of this season. It's going to be pretty sunny on practice and a bit cloudy in the race, according to this weather forecast. Not exactly sure if that's going to stick. We have to worry about acceleration on low-speed corners. Top speed, not too much, because acceleration's stock part, we can't really upgrade that. So the only thing we can do is hope that we can adjust the reliability of the parts for the time being. We can't really invest in anything right now because I feel like if we get any better, we'll be needing them. We won't be able to transfer any high output parts we've developed into the Asia Pacific Super Cup because they use different parts there. So we're trying as much as possible to stay up and on top if we want to be promoted, while keeping as much money as possible so that we can finally invest in the road car factory that we've been building up to for the past 2 seasons. Now remember, that thing costs $65 million and is the second most expensive building to invest in, paling in comparison to the actual cost of the infamous theme park. Well, at least that's what I remember. I don't know how much a theme park actually costs, but it is very, very expensive. And people are actually saying it's not exactly worth it to invest in the theme park because it costs a lot, and considering that it does provide race by race revenue, but considering its production rather service costs, it might be much better to just maintain. Excuse me. It might be much better to just maintain production focus on the other race-related parts instead of investing in a theme park. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll have to stay on track to getting that road car factory, which will be slotted up over here instead. I really have to apologize in advance to that poor farmer over there. Any hoot? I think it's a good time to dive in and go ahead. Ooh, car repairs are done. The good thing that Jessica Legg and the rest of her crew are getting faster in repairs. Much faster than I thought they would be, actually. They're not doing just half-day repairs for the damaged cars, and they can probably handle most of the other extra work afterwards. Okay, oh. They pretty much finished up most of the extra work already. Probably just need to improve the reliability of these ones later. Got a new slot for a fixed payment sponsor, and we can go for either Cortez again, just as giving us an upfront with 500,000 and fixed pay of 400,000. They'll be doing it for 15 races. Meanwhile, FWK has an upfront of $1 million, but they only provide 180,000 for 8 races, which pretty much gives us a pretty easy choice here. Cortez will be coming up with us for the next 15 races. Pretty long deal there. Well, Hablar is almost done with us. We just need to finish Tondela here. See if what? Anakuchi's retiring. This is news. Why is he retiring? He's just 31. Pretty young to retire, if you ask me. Oh, because his stats have peaked and they're dropping now. Oh, and he's also suffering from a midlife crisis? How? His stats have peaked, it says. Oh, so if your stats have peaked and you suffer from, wait, hang on a second, but he's only been racing for what? Many of... No, this can't be right. He's been racing for only how long? He's only been racing since 2016. Oh, is it because he's also been dropping Torun GT, if I remember it? Yeah, okay, so those are... He was a reserve for Torun GT at the start. He got a couple of runs in the 2017 season before he transferred. I guess, yeah, there is a good chance that he will want to drop out after this season, but that sucks for him. He still had a bit more potential, but if his stats peaked that quickly, bit of a problem. All right, let's see what happened in the top flight. Naito is pretty much showing off his teammate now. Hanakuchi has dropped significantly. He is now 7th with only 13 points. Not exactly a lot of runs from a former top contender there. Meanwhile, Sanjay Modi from Windsor Racing gets 2nd, despite the fact that he has a dodgy neck. Putting him up in 6th, just tied with Kuivalainen from Panther. But that's not enough to get him some more points in the top 3 on the championship standings. Meanwhile, Janik Husted from Scuderia Rossini gets 3rd, and that puts him in 2nd in the driver's standings. Well, on the Asia Pacific Super Cup front, Thornton Motorsports Ribeiro snatches 1st, pushing down Navarro from his teammate Navarro, now down to 3rd. Buchalski jumps up to 2nd with a convincing 2nd round win as well, or rather second place win here in Dubai. He says 53 seconds. Just 14 seconds. No, that's a lot of gas. 14 seconds behind Ribeiro. And rounding up the podium is Dustin Wheelo from Ruiz Motorsport. A surprise win for the American, getting him an additional 6 points from his previous 3, and he's now in 13th. Tyler J. Sylvander from the Firebird MRT here. Meanwhile, Esteva not exactly having a fun season so far. Still no points from the once formidable Vexala driver. Her teammate, meanwhile, Gansler, is stuck at 15th with 6 points. Vexala not having a fun time after promotion. Might have to drop him in the next season at this point. Billy is done. Let's see what's on Tondela. It's going to be 25 laps again, which means probably another one of those 2-stop races if we have to. But I think we can still do 1 stop if we... oh, sorry about that. If we increase the... if we do the new technique we've actually learned from last run, where we will improve the capabilities of the slower tire, which is much more durable, so we can get increased driving time, keeping us on the road for longer without the need to change tires. And then once we go into pit stop, we'll switch to the faster tires, which may not be upgraded by performance abilities, but will give us a boost in speed. Now let's see if we can apply it here. 10% chance of rain. Pretty dry day for this one. Drier than last time, at least. Let's hope that stays that way. Fortunately, front wings were behind Zampelli for front wings now. Yeah, I know, Perez. We have troubles with the pit crew, even with a better pit crew manager now. Perez has a lot to complain about, mostly because our pit crew is awful. Even though we've already got somebody who's pretty decent, but again, let me remind y'all, Aiden Callie's stats are dropping significantly. He's too old, 58, almost at retirement rate, and despite the fact that he did provide some bonuses, he hasn't exactly done much in helping our pit crews improve significantly, and as you can clearly see, our pit crews are starting to feel the heat. As much as I like to micromanage everything, I really can't, since we're trying to focus on keeping our budgets okay. So I'm just hoping that he can actually handle keeping the pit crew focused towards towards practice. Oh, what's on the news? Not again. We're once again tipped to have a great time this Sunday. I do not like that. When we're noted up like this, there's a good chance we pretty much lose. Perez is still Perez is in second place as far as driver standings go, so she's got a good chance to jump up ahead of Vosu here. Meanwhile, Dragon Race Team is still in the back. Speaking of in the back, driver-wise, Clark Smith is actually the one who's way behind at 43 points. But in overall team standings, Balkan and Madoncini pretty much have a bit of a problem here. Despite the fact that Balkan's at 68 points, pretty decent, all things considered, he's being dragged down by his teammate, which isn't exactly a good thing. Now, where's that? Team standings, Dragon Race Team Dragon Race Team is just 1 point behind Garuda. Pretty much Engelhardt pulling his weight here with 71 points. Clark Smith, who is actually pretty decent, all things considered, is getting left behind pretty badly for some reason. We got 32 points ahead of Ozu, which means there's a good chance he can catch up to us today. Very, very concerned about that. Okay. Do I really want... I feel like I could probably invest in at least one more upgrade. I can get another engine maybe, but that's pretty much it. We need the money for next season. Excuse me. I need that for the HQ. If I want to get a new engine... No. We can't really go towards great because most of the other parts are locked. The best thing we can do here is for this, but that reduces reliability considerably, so I'd rather not. Where are my parts here? Our current engines are great and good. We can probably improve the get at least one more great engine. Wait, what? What's that? Base time reduction. Yeah. Like, I mean, I can probably get another engine just to improve our chances, since our current, Vosu's engine is currently good, but he could probably get improvements if we're a bit more into that. Too bad we can't sell our old engines, rather. Let's see if we can actually get something done for that. Top speed, plate stripping, top speed again. I got one more slot. I don't know what I want to put it into, or what I want to put into it. We could probably reduce build time so that it'll be available for next race. Increase top speed, but reduce reliability. Reduce the red zone. Reduction of the red zone would be nice. I think I can go with this. 30,000. That's a lot of money. Huh? What's our current marketability? Finances. Marketability. So marketability, where are you? Our marketability is 99%. Getting a plus 30 and losing morale doesn't seem like a good idea, so I'll probably go for the money. Just buy more champagne. Thankfully, it's not 100% totally. We won't lose a lot there. And, well, Perez's morale is important. She's currently number 2, and if she gets a boost by maintaining a good finish this stage, that morale will jump off the roof. Jump off the roof and fly, and she'll have a better relationship with her mechanic that will allow us to unlock light-footed ultra soft. We can't really use it unless we're driving Rio. But what I really want is pit stop legend. Super overtake mode would be nice, but parts reliability isn't really good right now. So, anyway, since we've already made our choice, let's get into the action. Hopefully, we can maintain a good performance here. I'm really confident. Again, we'll do the slow parts first. Thankfully, our marketability is still pretty high. I want to go for 100%, but we're already at 100% actually. It's just Vosu's dragging the team down because his underwear model gig doesn't seem to be doing anything for the money. Anywho, now where do we go from here? Probably go with Stonewall again, so they can give us some bigger money. It's gonna be risky. There's a good chance we will miss this. This is a Tondela after all. But I'm hoping we can still get some money out of that. They don't seem to have any complaints about their parts so far. So here's hoping we can actually get this done right on the money. Tire wear is going to be high though, and the fuel burn is going to be medium, so there's a really good chance we'll be doing a 2-stop race on this. 10 and then 20. That's a bit risky. Okay, let's go and practice. We gotta improve the capabilities of our slower tire first, so we can use it for the early part of the race. Marathon mode, so to speak, and then we'll switch out to the softer compound once we go on the pit stop. If we're lucky, we might be able to do some practice here with the softer compound if we can get the other one to level 3. Now I need Vukolova here for practice still. Slight adjustment to acceleration speed. A little more oversteer maybe. Okay, let's go for that. Put them in mediums. Okay, see if this works. Right, remember, we've only got 12 minutes to perfect this. So we're going to stick to the mediums for both of them. I need a reliable, slow, rather harder compound so that we can stay on the road longer. Especially since this one has a very high tire wear rating. Oh. Slight change there. Okay, everybody else seems to be thinking the same, though there's still some of those guys on softs. Probably push it further so that they can get stats up, but stat growth isn't too good. Even though they're saying the handling is awesome right now, I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all. A lot of doubt about these feedbacks. Vukolova's going for some really good acceleration, at least. Definitely need some more work on that. Oof, a bit of a bump from that Ozu car. I have no idea what that one was. Stramdi? Ah, Machi. Of course it's a Machi. Pretty much a repetition of the last run. Okay, Vukolova needs more downforce. Gonna center in now. We'll have Vosu rolling ahead. Also has an issue with the downforce on his end of the line. Gonna keep somebody on the road at least. Setup knowledge and wheel reliability, or rather wheel knowledge, are up at level 1. Balsir, despite having the arrow issue, is already at medium setup knowledge. Ooh! Alright, let's focus on acceleration, but like a bit more downforce. Steering needs a bit of work as well. Harder suspension, maybe? I feel the harder suspension will actually work. Especially this. Well, there are a lot of straights, so I think a harder suspension would work for this one. Let's see if this works. Keep that medium tire up. Let's get the Bosu out of here. We've only got 6.5 minutes left in practice, so we gotta move quick. Clovis still not showing anything on her end after that pickup. She is in the outlap still. Still too many curves out here. Might have to. Okay, his handling is great. Speed balance and downforce are okay, though, so they definitely need some more acceleration on this one. Slightly hard. No. Okay, so probably a balance between understeer and oversteer. Okay, let's make it a bit harder. Hopefully, we'll have enough time to get him up there. Now he's out of the pit with 5.5 minutes left in practice. They're still up on top, though. But the Voss's still on top for some reason. Okay, Arrow is way better. Nice, that's a good sign, but we definitely need that to be better and faster now. We've only got 4.5 minutes, and we're still at still working to level 2 setup knowledge for the cars, or level 2 race trim rather. Kolova setting up some good sectors here. Forming fastest lap again while Sue goes down, mostly because we're using his previous stint. Come on. 3.5 minutes and we're still working towards race trim level 3. Might have to restart this at this rate. So we gave her the wrong handling notions. Guess we needed her handling to be a bit softer. Come on, seriously? See if this one works. If it doesn't, I'm going to restart the practice run because, dang it. You know, last time I think I tried to give them a softer suspension setup for the Tondo circuit because of all the curves. They start complaining about how the car's suspension cannot handle it, and they want it to be a bit stiffer. Now they're asking for a bit of an adjustment to that approach. Oh dang it! It's only a minute left. Not a good sign. Yeah, now let's restart this. This isn't gonna give us any good runs. Two drivers have been trading places with each other in the championship for a while. There's a chance they'll become rivals. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. That is so not a good sign. Oh, that did not save on that part? Well, shoot. At least we got this one. Okay. Let's go for Stonewall Bank again. Parts still seem okay. Car parts production also working. So it's going to be softer suspension, more downforce, and a focus on acceleration. Got it. Let's see if the green markers on their run are the same. Yeah, pretty much. Wait. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I'm going down with a really bad flu at this rate. They need so much downforce for this one. What? That's surprising. A lot more on the acceleration front here. Suspension should be softer, and the downforce definitely higher. What? That makes a whole lot of sense. Any hoot. That should do it. Let's roll out the carpet and drive. Keeping it at this setup for now. Hopefully we won't have to worry about any major fixes that need to be applied right as they come out of the pit. Oh, that setup knowledge isn't going any further higher now. Not a good sign. But the race trim is actually moving pretty fast. So that might be looking up for us. Real happy with gear ratios. Excellent. Yep. Looks like they really want to be a bit more acceleration focused for this one. Seriously? I gave Wasu a bit of an acceleration boost. Or a little too much focus on acceleration, so we're gonna have to trim that down a bit. But let's let them finish 2 stints first. I want to at least jump up the race trim. Maybe let them finish their entire stint? I don't know. Put them to max. Wasu's doing pretty decent in the low speed corners and the low speed corners and the chicanes, but he's struggling a bit with the consecutive S-turns and hairpins. So I guess when the acceleration is a little too much, he can't really take advantage of that. Ooh, now he's up to first. 0.07 tenths of a second. Okay, not offering me enough. See? This is why I told you. Maybe we can balance things out a bit. I'm still looking at level 2 and we're only at 6. Not good. We've only got 6 minutes left in practice and they're still having some issues with a lot of stuff here. The downforce is great, speed balance is good, handling is okay, so they need it to be a bit more responsive, which means a little harder. And probably a bit more towards 44% acceleration. So there's a balance in speed and acceleration there. Keep the same tires. Wasu can probably finish his stint now. We can send him in. Much as I like to just stack them up, it usually means that we can't get any knowledge out on the road, so I have to do this standard 1 lap gap and pitting in. Is that the other Dragon Race team car? Oh, it is. Handling is poor. I need to make it a bit stiffer. And the downforce also needs a bit more work. So somewhere around here, slightly longer acceleration. We'd probably reduce downforce a bit, actually. Let's see if this works. Palova's still rolling around. 53% left on her tires. We only got less than 4 minutes and we're still at level 1 race trim. Not a good sign. Might have to restart again. Okay, handling is much better now on Bukalava's side of things. 3 minutes, and we're still at level 2. I don't feel good about this. Bit of a bump on the practice run there. That feels much better. Yeah, that means that's still a yellow. We can't quite get there. And now it looks like Chu and Lopeklu are getting some decent personal bests in the timesheets here. El Sadat jumps up to 12. Chu jumps out to 16th. We bounce right on many. We've only got a minute left. Let's see if we can actually convert this to something. Too bad we can't switch out tires fast enough. We might still have a chance to roll around here. For some level 3 race trim. 10 seconds. No, I don't think we can. Not good. That's the end of the practice session. They're just waiting on us to finish up. Bosu and Bukalova up on the timesheets, though. Alright, we got them on level 3. That's good enough for me. We just need to work out the kinks for the actual race. We're not too sure if we will be able to do this in a one-stop run, considering that's pretty much the same number of laps as Guildford earlier, or rather last time. So we'll have to see if we can actually make it work despite that. Very happy about that, but there's an Amachi fan here, must be a long-time follower. Bosu feeling a little confident. I don't like that. Impressive lap time, 1 minute 27. We beat the record again. Lap time 1 minute 27 was good enough to leave his rivals scratching their heads. Looks like we're keeping an eye out for Reeves, as Reeves finished 4th in the practice run, so there's a good chance she will be looking at getting that podium finish here today. Remember, our objective is first to get that 1,800,000 bonus. Not too happy at the fact that we don't have any mechanics components we can take advantage of. As I expected, we don't have a lot in terms of decent setups there. Perez still needs some updates for acceleration. At least Wasu got 2 greens and a purple, so that's a good sign. Gotta change their tires though. They need to be endurance driving. Remember, the fuel lasts for 20 laps. 20 laps. So if we need to change, we need to change only once, hopefully. Hoping we can actually do that. Once we change, we'll have to switch over to softs. And these guys don't last long. If we can keep our cars running up to at least the maximum, which is 12, there's a good chance we can switch to softs later, but Perez is going to have some trouble with that because she's not good with keeping tires safe. Oh, the downforce is in red. What? Can't be right. Outside of the mechanics recommendations, she says. Right, let's keep it in neutral and medium for the time being. Play it a bit more conservatively. Hopefully we can stay long enough to keep them away from us, even though most of the guys up front have chosen to go with softs just so that they can grab some space ahead of the running. Ooh, El Sadat currently having an issue with his neck. 5 weeks for that. Not exactly a good sign for the Archer driver, but can probably still keep his 4th spot in the driver's standings at the end of Tondela. Good. Let's go for decent runs here in the back. And now away we go. Good acceleration from both of our drivers there. So that means that since they're driving with medium tire compounds, they won't be making any time records today. And as it stands, even Strambi understands that letting them pass him will significantly reduce his chances at staying in the top 3. Now, both of the Ozu team drivers are in the back, just slightly ahead of ours. Ooh, excellent driving from Perez there, taking advantage of a lull in the home corner. And now she is up to 18th, going for 17th. Couldn't keep it to go though. Strambi blocks her again. Meanwhile, Vosu is still in the back, not exactly having a lot of fun. Though it does seem like he's just playing things by ear for the time being. Perez goes down to 18th, with Strambi once again blocking her. Up front, we have Rivadero, Riven, Clarksmith, and Reeves for the top 4. Rivadero pushing to the limits, although she's keeping her tires a bit more safer, with 75% still left in the durability list. Griffin down to 76th, but he's also keeping his tires conservative. Smith also conservative, but he only has 80. He still has 81%, and Reeves, as top 4th, has only 76. Let's see if she can actually convert that for something. The fact that Reeves is already top 4, despite the fact that, oh no, that's practice. She was 4th in practice, and looks like she's converting that to runs today. Speaking of conversion, ooh, Perez couldn't keep it to go. Strambi blocking her at the last second around that straight there at the start-end line. And we're still here in the back, not exactly seeing much. Wasu, though, is still wheel-to-wheel with Amachi in the back here. Just couldn't get past the Australian at the last second. I guess those acceleration issues are starting to rear their ugly heads. Meanwhile, up front, Balkan jumps up to 7th. Ramsey and Silvera get past Engelhardt, who is now down to 15th. And we're starting lap 4, and most of the soft tire drivers pretty much on top. Ramsey being the only one in the back. Looks like Strambi is finally looks like Perez managed to finally sack Strambi, and she is now at 17th. Both of the Ozu drivers are keeping Vosu away, though. Definitely don't want him to get his next win. Now, we got Engelhardt in 16th. Really bad drop for the German early on in this race. Meanwhile, Strambi is just sneaking around, trying to get an outside corner there. Ooh, Vosu gets one on that long corner, and he is now just behind Strambi. Engelhardt gets one over Silveira. Engelhardt jumps over El Sadat. He's starting to make some places again. Vosu once again drops after missing the home chicane. Perez having trouble with Strambi, who's now pushing up ahead. Wheel to wheel between the top teams of the race, but they're both in the back. Now both Perez and Vosu are at the tail end again. Could be a sign of things to come in the future. Tire temperature is starting to be an issue here, and looks like it's time to conserve a bit. Also, keeping some of the parts stable. Thanks to the reliability boost, we've still got 20 laps of green to look at. Although the engines might be in a bit of an issue. Seeing a bit of breakaway up front. Most of the drivers are now yellow in the top 10. It's just Ramsey who's stuck behind Chu. Excellent defending from the high driver there, keeping ZRT Motorsport in the top 10 for a bit more. Now it's the start of lap 7, and we are still out here in the back. No sign of any changes from for the tires. It looks like we might see some in the next 2 laps, as Ramsey is now down to 25%. The current race leader, Rivadero, is now 24th, and she's already asking for a pit change. Well, Sears complaining about being stuck for the past 2 laps behind Perez here. I'm gonna ignore that. Tires are now mostly down to averaging 50% for both of our drivers here. Perez now down to 47 and Vosu at 54. And now it looks like we got several pit crews up here. Griffin once again suffering from parts issues, and he's going to be in the pit lane for a bit. Rivadero was also dropped in, and she's just coming out of the pit lane though. Now she is at 18th, blocking our drivers. Well, rather, she's at 14th because of the 4 guys who went to the pit lane early. Early on the runs, however, looks like the initial speedsters have switched out to endurance tires for the time being. Let's see if that's going to do anything for them in the near future. Speaking of near future, our tires are now at 40%, or rather 45% average. They're also switching out to optimal. Ooh, what the heck? Reeves has asked for a pit change, and she is having parts issues now. Vulcan and Mazzoncini have just come out, just switched out tires. Schober also has some issues with their tires. Now, it's just the other medium tire drivers up front that need to change. Let's see if we can last a bit longer here. Bosso and Perez are now up to 11th and 12th. While Sue definitely wanting to keep that driver's leadership role, or driver's championship lead for himself. While Perez seems to be pretty confident that she can keep her teammate away from her. Oh, that's excellent driving from Perez there on that home chicane. She is now up on 9th. But she's already down 31% on her tires and might need to change soon. Ooh, going for a 7th here? Can she get past Rivadero? Or rather, get past Silvera? No? Oh yeah, she did. It's just Engelhardt now at 7th. Let's see if she can go further. She's down to 28% on her tires. Vosu is still at 38. Pretty decent run so far. How about we back him up a bit? Vosu gets one over Silvera, and he is now in 10th, just behind Engelhardt. Ooh. Quick turning from Vosu there, and he gets an overtake in the inside corner of the home chicane. He is now in 9th. And now Perez is jumping ahead in places as well. At the start of lap 11, with 3 other drivers up front, switching out to the pit lane with Lapaglua, Chu, and Funker in that order. Now up front are just a couple more guys. Davis, El Sadat, Amachi, Engelhardt. Pretty difficult top contenders up front. We might need to change soon, however. If we can probably keep Perez at least 2 more lanes in, we can let her maintain her mediums and then fill her up so she can stay in the lane for longer. Meanwhile, Vosu will switch out to a tougher set of tires later. See if we can keep... Since we got a decent amount of temperature in the tires, we can just keep them around here for longer. Now Perez is up 3rd. She's now down to 21%. We can probably keep her for another run longer and then switch her out to another set of mediums, but that's going to be a bit risky. Perez now drops to 4th. It might be a good time for a tire change. Parts conditions still pretty decent. Could probably adjust some of these parts, but I need to find something that is quick to adjust and won't eat up anything. Looks like the best we can do is fixing up that front wing, but that's going to drop her to 18th. Let's see if we don't have anything to worry about instead. 30% risk chance. Hopefully that won't be a bit of an issue now. And now Perez has dropped to 5th as she is slowing down significantly. Vosu is now up to 3rd. Amachi and Dave is still ahead of him. Perez is now exiting at 7th. No errors, thankfully. Now we're starting lap 13. 13 laps still to go. And Perez still pretty decent. No, never mind. Most of the earlier pitters have gone ahead of her. Okay, let's put her in medium and neutral for the time being. So she can heat up those tires a bit while Vosu is now closing the gap. Let's see. Parts condition, no. Pit strategy. What's the tires? 8 to 10 laps. I can probably let him drive for another lap, but I'm feeling confident if we can stick to mediums, we can probably do it with softs in the next lap. So let's let him drive for a bit more, while Perez drives neutral at 18th. Let's keep those tires warmed up a bit, and then once they've started rolling down, let's go and put her in conserve. Or rolling up, rather. Right. Amachi is now ahead of Perez there. Never mind, Amachi jumps ahead of Balkan and Kohi. Bosu is only at 1.4 seconds 1.4 seconds away of Rivadera. Not exactly a good run there. I need extra gaps so that we can gain some advantage in the pit lane since we're going to be refueling the car. I want some more space between him and the following driver. That's lap 15. Let's go and switch over to softs. Give him extra fuel and fix the front wing. Front wing is the only thing we can fix right now that doesn't add up to repair times. Okay. Doesn't look like it's going into the red just yet. Bosu is now 2 seconds ahead of Rivadero for some reason. But he's now down to 16% on his tires, so it's very possible that he's going to drop. Speaking of drop, Perez is now 16th. Make that 15th as she gets ahead of both Shober and Kohi. Now she's behind Amachi again. And Vosu is entering the pit lane. He'll drop his parts significantly. Oh, mistake. Not a good sign there for Vosu. Not a good sign at all. As we now enter the last 10 laps of the race. And he's down at 11th. Make that 12th. Not exactly a good run. Okay, maybe it's a bit of a good time to conserve the tires for Perez. She's now down to 75%. And she is at 15th. Vosu, meanwhile, driving pretty decently. He's stuck in the 11-12 area, though, having a bit of a fight with Reeves, who was pretty much on the media's eye in the practice race earlier. Tire wear might be another issue as we start lap 17, 9 laps to go. Vosu jumps up to 10th. He's now trying to get back in. Oh, Lalpeclua keeps him away from the 10th spot again. Perez closing in. Her tires definitely getting a bit colder. Just a bit colder. Still in the durable spot of things at least. Now might be a good time to push our drivers to the limit. As we have 8 laps to go. Let's let Vosu get up there. In 2 laps now. Yeah, sure, whatever. Make it a bit more relaxing and push him ahead. Now we've got extra fuel for the race ahead, so that's going to help us stay alive longer. Vosu is now at 79%. His tire is getting a bit colder, but going into optimal temperature mode. Perez has jumped up to 14th. Reeves, Amachi, and Lalpeclua still ahead of her. Vosu is now at 9th. Make that 10th still, as El Sadat gets ahead of him. He's having a bit of a fight with El Sadat here for 9th, though. Meanwhile, Engelhardt blocking them both. Coming in the home corner, Vosu makes a quick overtake on the ninth on the last part of the home stretch, gets ahead of Engelhardt. Now he is at 8th. We got a couple of people in the pits again. Clark Smith, Ramsey, and Coley have switched out. Perez jumps ahead of them all, and she is now 12th. Still a bit more racing to go, but we might have a chance of getting back into the sponsors' good graces for this one. Vosu is now at 6th. Perez is at 12th. Her tires, though, are at 60%, so we might have to switch out things here. And now Vosu is behind Chu. El Sadat is blocked. No, it's Perez now. He's behind Amachi still. Vosu fighting for 5th. He's now ahead of Chu, who is, for some reason, going into backup mode. Might have some problems with his engine. Giving Vosu a chance to jump ahead. We've still got Rivadero, Davis, Silveira up front. Ooh, Rivadero with a quick pitch out here. We might miss our leadership roles here. Perez now up to 11th. Vosu going into 5th. 6 laps to go. He's now in 4th. We've only got Davis and Rivadero up front. What? Oh, that was a quick switch as well. Perez is at 6th. Could sure use a bit more work up front, though. With Rivadero pretty much on top, thanks to 2 pit stops. Pretty tactical move from the Argentinian here. Question is, can she keep it up front for the next few runs? Perez still struggling to get ahead of Lalpiclua. Chu now up to 4th. Davis still keeping a 3-second distance away from Vosu. Question is, can he keep those distances running in the last 5 laps of the race? Lalpiclua goes for a pit, so does Mazzoncini. They're now way in the back. Perez is up to 5th. Chu still blocking her. Davis still 3 seconds ahead. Rivadero with a good 7-second gap against Vosu. Might miss the sponsor objective for this one, I'm afraid. But we could still run into things if Rivadero makes a mistake, which might be unlikely. Now going into the last 4 laps of the race. Perez has now taken over Amachi's spot. Not a chance in heck that, there's not a chance that... Wait, hang on. Vosu is closing the gap here, and Perez is now in 4th. The distance has shortened significantly between Vosu and Davis. It's just Rivadero who's still ahead. Now it's 3 laps to go. Can Vosu at least get 2nd for this one? Yes, he does. He's getting ahead of Davis now, who has gone down to a low. Looks like she's having some fuel issues after pushing a little too much. Meanwhile, Rivadero is still up front. 7 seconds ahead of Vosu now. Is there a chance we can catch up to her? Vosu, time to conserve a bit. We still got 2.79 laps. Ooh, not a good sign from Perez. Looks like she's complaining about tire wear now. Time to back her up a bit. And now we're starting lap 24, 2 laps to go. And now it's 8 seconds ahead. Rivadero is pushing up really badly. We might have to miss the sponsor objective today. Should have switched out. Well, got a bad run for this leg of the season, but definitely could have done better. We've only got 1 lap to go. Let's see if we can still do something about this. 8 seconds behind. Not exactly an easy run, especially since Rivadero is just playing it easy on her end. Meanwhile, Perez is having trouble getting into the pit crew, as Davis is 2 seconds ahead of her. Nope, not a chance that we'll be able to get anything out of this. Looks like Vosu will have to settle for 2nd, and Perez will have to settle for 4th, as we end our Tondola leg today. missing the sponsor objective, but nonetheless keeping a good spot up front. We could have gone with the other sponsor for this one, but it is what it is. I think we still have a decent amount of time to go for another leg of a race here. Bossier could have really had a better chance at it if we didn't have that mistake. Fortunately, pit crews are a bit tired. Not managing them good enough. Let's hope things will look up in the next race at least. There it is. Ribadero did a major late game pit change thanks to her gap with the rest of the line. If Vosu had managed to score at least one or a couple of seconds ahead on that pit crew change, he would have been able to stay in first, or at least stay close enough that he could overtake Rivadero near the end, or rather the home stretch of the race, and might have gotten him an achievement. But we're pretty happy about. What? Oh, that's not good. Rivadero suffers significant drops in positioning, no thanks to having two illegal parts in her car. No wonder her performance was pretty decent in the late game. I mean, Archer's pit crew was great. They're some of the best pit crews in the series. The problem is the parts were illegal, and there's two of them, so she gets 5 demotions for each part, which means she is now down to 11th, despite the fact that she got that fastest lap bonus. Speaking of Silver Racing's Hjalmar Funker also had a part problem, and he's down 4 points. He is now 19th, sharing a spot with the Dragon Race team drivers. Not a good sign for the Scandinavian ace. That means Perez is once again in the podium, but she switches places with Vosu for this one. Looks like that's going to be a really good line for our drivers. Hey, Davis was the one on the last one, wasn't she? Oof. Vosu now at 135 points, 20 points ahead of his teammate Perez. Amachi jumps up to 4th after Elsadot's rather middling performance today. Speaking of middling performance, looks like Funker drops down to 12th along with Reeves. Schober drops to 14th, Balkan to 16th, Coy to 17th. Mazoncini is now tail end at 46 points. Not exactly a good sign for that Argentinian. Rivadero, despite the penalties, jumps up to 13th in the Drivers' Championship. Now we are 250 points total for the team standings. That's 37 points ahead of Ozu, who are still sneaking pretty nice. The heck, man. Hey, don't mention it. Would be nice if you can provide some share of your winnings there by buying our merch. Definitely push to his limits. That's an understatement. Daring overtaking maneuvers is an understatement. We had some really exciting overtaking today. I guess the tactic of using the slower tire for the early part of the race paid off. 4 seconds ahead of Davis. Let's see those news reports. I'm expecting some serious change in the pit crew today after the errors we've seen, or the error. There's only one error we've seen in the race, but thankfully that did not count 100% towards. Ooh, finally a new unlock. Expect results. You came first. Chairman is very, very happy about that, but it doesn't increase the marketability of our team just yet. It's mostly because Vosu isn't exactly super marketable right now, despite the fact that he is doing underwear modeling job. I'm sure he still has it in his stats. Driver form 8.8. That's kind of scary. Ooh, we got that 1 million. Yep, chairman's definitely happy about that. You can clearly see that Tanakuchi is not in the mood for driving anymore. He's pretty much just going through the motions. 15 points, not moving from his 7th place spot in the Drivers' Championships. Well, not that that's going to help them much. Well, not that it really affects the match, rather. Steinman is still at top with 73 points, but Rosini is probably closing in with their 66. Well, Sue and Perez, excellent driving from our team there. I'm very, very happy about that result. We're actually getting a bit more consistent with our road performance, and I'm seeing a lot of overtaking there, even when we were still driving normally. Ooh, pit crew's now worst of the worst right now in the season. Looks like we need to do some spin arounds on our own. 7th best drivers on the grid. Unbelievable. Pretty good drop in karts conditions, though. 12 hours, only 33 and 36% performance drop. Not exactly a bad run there. He's an interesting driver. I think, yeah, even with the morale drop, I think she's pretty decent. If we do need to switch out drivers and she wants a new spot, I think we can talk with her. 7 seconds slower. We had one pit mistake, and thankfully it wasn't super dangerous, but we still need to work on that. Hard fought is an understatement. Now let's see if we can change anybody here. We definitely need to. Ooh, he's already done some changes. Unfortunately, the stats aren't very stellar, but I think they're pretty decent so far, so I think we'll stick with that. Save that up. Probably work towards one more stage. Just one more. Still have elbow room. One more to make up for starting late today. 8 days, 16 days, and 20 hours. I don't think we can use that for London, so we'll have to see if we can use that for the Black Sea. Useful for the Black Sea, but acceleration, high-speed corners, since they're pretty much stock parts, we can probably make use of the new engine. Too bad we can't sell this. We can't sell the extra parts, and have to work moving that 16 days before race. Oh, 2 spots. Let's see. Football Manager? That was their unit? Okay, they got upfront payment of 1 million and a bonus payment of 600,000. Why is their star rating higher than Play Sport games? Oh, whatever. Let's go with that. I thank you for your financial support. That's very helpful. Schmitz Tires, Leroy, and Jogo Games, or Hogo Games, since I think this is Spanish. Okay, Shimizu has a deal length of 14. They've got an upfront payment of 1 million, and they pay 550,000 per. Meanwhile, Ruleroy has an upfront of only 450,000, but they got a better fixed payment of 700. Problem is, their deal length is only 11 races, so that makes it 7,700,000. 8, 7, 7, 7. Yeah, it is 7,700,000. Right? Not much in terms of. That's a lot still. It's just 11 races. Meanwhile, 550,000 for 14 equates to. That's pretty much the same. But since Shimizu gives us more money up front, I think we'll stick with this. So now that's 33,000. I think that's a pretty good run for the sponsor so far. If we can continue our decent performance up on the lanes, we might be able to not only fund our road car factory, but also get enough money to build up decent parts, even if we do get promoted. Just need everything to be level, or rather, yeah, level 5 sponsors. We really need to get Wasu up in the marketing line. He's only 97%. Alright, performance work is done. We can't really do anything else. Since everything else has been cleaned up, we're still waiting for that engine to be available. Increase the speed limit within the pit lane? I think it'll allow team principals much greater control over the outcome of the race, which can only be a good thing. I wonder. I already have some problems with my pit crew, so I don't think increasing the speed limit within the pit lane would help us. 60 miles an hour pit lane change. Let's see who's going for and against. Benefit progressive teams, that's Octane, Garuda, and Dragon Race Team, but this will not benefit traditional ones like ZRT and Zampelli. Since we're pretty much a little A, a little B, as far as a team goes, we don't really have a horse in the race. But I don't want to suffer having to deal with this if I get demoted from the Asia Pacific Super Cup, so I'm going to vote against it. I'm saving the other voting power points for a different election vote. Okay, that might have been a bad idea because it looks like they're gonna get some. Ooh, yeah. Dragon Race Team also there. Yeah. Fortunately. Well, not much to worry about for now. Well, whatever the case, we're gonna have to. Ooh, so the fuel efficient. Oh no. Oh no, expose. I don't like this. It's gonna be 21 laps in Milan, which means we can definitely do a one stop for this. But I want to know if I want to be in endurance or speed. But we'll have to look at the tire, soft and medium. So we can probably go for speed, but we need to improve the performance of everything. Okay, probably. Do we want to? Dude, we haven't been able to get any decent relationship with the drivers for the past 32 weeks. I'd rather not. Can you go with somebody else, please? Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Lepman. I just cannot afford to lose my driver-mechanic relationship points even further at this rate. Okay, looks like they're in Rio. Ooh, Parker! This is a rare sight. Parker gets first here in Rio today. 12 points, 52 seconds on the line. Is it 52 minutes? I can't quite tell. Well, whatever the case, Parker is now on first, and that jumps her significantly to fourth. Rare sight for the veteran from the ERS, even though she's still number 2 driver, apparently. Tupison. Now there's another ace we've seen. Running for Team Keyta, and he scores second, and another name we're familiar with, Les Riva, for Boa Esperanza at third. Looks like they all remember their experiences with the ERS in Rio here. Now let's see if things will stay the way they are here in Milan. Now remember, it's a one-stop race, so we can either focus on durability or speed. We've been tipped to be we've been tipped to perform well, so we're the race favorites again. Tsunami, though, is hoping to get a better standing at the end of his race. I can feel he can actually jump up higher now. Bunker has been having a bit of a problem. Being mid-table sucks. I want to see the team making a few strides because at the moment I feel like I haven't been able to show off my skills as a driver. The illegal parts definitely isn't helping your case, buddy. Hard tires? What? Fuel economy. Anyway, that's 2 days and 10 hours before the new engine is complete. Speaking of new engine, here it comes. Okay, let's see if we can actually improve this first. I can't exactly fit the guy up first since it's down to 45%, but the performance is better than the good engine we have here, so I think that's going to be okay. Let's improve the reliability first and then go up to performance afterwards. 6 days after the race, yeah, I'll go with that. Well then, let's see if we can actually finish this race today. Remember, 21 laps. Hang on, let me check that note again. Excuse me. 21 laps, strong engines. So it's going to be acceleration, high-speed corners, so that's wings and acceleration. Speed instead of acceleration, rather. So we're going to have to work some of that for now. Still pretty bad as far as drivers go. Staff is now down 4th best. We can still get profits from all 3 of the major sponsors, but excuse me. I think I want to risk it. Excuse me. Dang it. Oh. Let's risk it and go for another first, maybe. So we can get 1 million. So 900,000 doesn't seem too bad, so I think we'll stick with Vamos. Say that again. So the main dilemma here is, do we want endurance so we can stay in the run longer, or do we want to go for speed so that we can make these tires a bit more durable, or rather we can take advantage of the speed, go fast enough that we can get a gap so that when we can get a gap on the other driver so that when we go for a pit change, our teams will be able to get some elbow room to fix any issues that come up and still have enough time to get out of the pit lane ahead of the trailing drivers. Well, that's going to be a bit of an issue, really. Let's go softer tires. Be a bit harder. And since that's speed, I'm going for downforce. Okay, let's see if we can stick to this. Okay, 10 to 12. 10 to 12. Meanwhile, okay, 9 to 11. Let's go for softs. They're both driving on softs for this one, so we're gonna be pushing our drivers to the limit. Hopefully, we can maintain that setup so that Perez won't have to worry about eating her tires too much. Now let's hope we did give them the right setup early on so that I don't have to worry about the setup, the race trim having to be stuck in level 2 or something. I'm getting a quick look here, and it looks like Vosu seems to be doing okay. As far as setup, personal setup knowledge goes, at least. Okay, let's see. Here we go. That's the home, let's careful. Far too high? What? Downforce field's bang on. Okay, so Vosu has trouble with his arrows, but Bukalova seems to be rolling decently with hers. It's Vosu that needs to be prioritized for arrow setups. Let them drive for a couple more stints. Whoa, somebody got run over the road, run out of the road there. Bukalova going first, Vosu, and second. 0.3 of a second behind. Not a bad gap, to be honest. Still needs a lot of work. And keeping everybody else behind. Handling's being Spurb. Okay, so for now, the main issue is Vosu's aerodynamics seem to be a little too aggressive. And that's affecting his performance significantly. Kolova once again on top. 1 minute 15. Still 0.3 of a second ahead of Vosu for this one. Just need to get Vosu up to race trim, or probably get him up to high. Okay, gear ratios are just right. So it's definitely the arrows. I need more acceleration in the car. Got it. So Bukalova needs acceleration, Vosu needs arrows. We'll get Vosu out first. Only got 6 minutes of practice, and race trim is still at 70% completion for level 2. But I think we'll have enough elbow room to maneuver through everything. Oh, cripes, it's a stack. Well, whatever. Mechanics can handle that easily. I just need both of them to get out there quickly. Yep, handling and downforce are excellent. She still needs some acceleration, so let's cut this down a bit. Make it 56% maybe? Okay, maybe a balance of acceleration and speed should be enough. And just switch things up again. Keep the tires though. While Vosu... Oh, downforce is the only thing that's holding him back so far. So let's reduce the downforce slightly. Too much understeer. Okay, that should do it. Yes. A little more tire pressure, a little less arrows. Let's see if he'll be okay with this. Only got 5 minutes of practice left. Let's see if they can actually push it a bit more. I need setup knowledge level 3. Global coming out on that run. They're both at medium setup knowledge at least, and now they're at level 2 race trim and level 2 soft tire performance, so we can work with that. Now, what else could be building here? Tsunami's still making a lot of works on the outclass there. Okay, arrow setup was way better. Arrow speed balance is also more decent, so I think at least a yellow for both of them there. I can work with that. Amanji jumps up to 6th. Griffin jumps up to 9th. Mazzoncini is still in the tail end. He's definitely not having a good day. Neither is Balkan. Both of them definitely not happy campers here in practice right now. Ooh, really happy with gear ratios. I think we'll have enough elbow room to get race trim and soft tires up to level 3. We only got minute 10 to go, though. And the tires are almost gone on Bukalova's side of things. Arrow's feeling great right now. Enough elbow room to get... Yep, they're all at level 3. Let's bring Bukalova in before she spins herself out of the practice run. get those guys home. Excellent running from both Bukalova and Vosu in practice today. We got our setup to level 3. Setup knowledge is just high, though. Could probably work with that. And yes, excellent. That's 2 greens and a purple. I'll work with that. Bukalova still on top, 1 minute 15. Now, that's a bit of a high run. But I guess since we ordered Vosu to relax, that won't matter much. Well, that won't matter much. Vosu's best time is a minute 15, just 0.3 of a second behind Bukalova there. Strambi still threatening both of our top leads with a 2-second distance, 1 minute 17. Oof, ZRT having issues in the back. Fortunately, we can't really send Bukalova out since she's reserved. Currently looking at a cloudy run-up. We got a 3rd or above. Soft tires and race trim, and Perez. We can't use this yet. So go for the soft tires and race trim again. Remember, it's going to be a one-stop race. So unless the weather changes sometime between lap 10 and lap 21, we will stick to softs all the way in. Excellent car setup, at least. So I'll go with that. Keep it at neutral and medium for the time being. And hopefully we'll be able to actually finish the run. But to finish the stream today with a decent running. Amachi and Strambi still looking for a chance to get back on top. They're really close, but not close points-wise. Though they're nonetheless using better cars overall. Too bad they can't use their extra parts. A lot of the advanced parts they used as Ozu are currently stuck. That's keeping us in the running. Anyway, here's hoping things go ahead. Lights out, away we go. Excellent jump there from both of our drivers. Easy acceleration for Perez, who's now in 19th. Rather, 18th. Ooh, that's not good. Vosu ran wide. I think we locked him. Can he come back from this? That was not a good sign from Vosu. He's now 7 seconds behind the race leader, who's currently Clark Smith. Perez making some ranks up here. She's trying to get in the 17th, but looks like Strambi says no thanks. Now we're starting towards the run here. Probably have to... No, let's keep it neutral. So Perez now having some trouble getting up ahead of the other drivers for some reason. Couldn't get past Strambi again, and Vosu has managed to get back into the lane, closing in. Perez once again in 18th, but she is now way behind Ramsey, who is at 17th. Clark Smith goes up ahead with a fastest lap bonus. And now we're starting lap 3 with a bit of a rough patch. Tire wear could be an issue, since or rather, tire temperature could be an issue. Oh no! Uh-oh, what the heck happened? What in the world just happened? Perez just crashed. Perez just crashed. What happened? What happened? Parts condition, everything is red. I think she just locked up there. Not a good sign for our driver. But she still has a decent amount, a decent chance to stay in the running. As she is still in second, despite the fact. Now let's see if Vosu can lift them both, as he is now driving significantly faster. He's up to 17th. Going up to 16th, trying to make up for that lockup earlier at the start of the race. He's now closing in with Silveira, who's trying to keep him away from the 15th spot here. It looks like Vosu is not having any of that. I have no idea what happened to Perez there. Looks like she had a bit of a lockup on the on the start of Sector 2. At least her points are still pretty decent. Now Vosu is up to 14th, taking over Davis's spot. El Sadat still blocking him. Meanwhile, up front, Clark, Mazzoncini, and Reeves still have a go at it. 16 laps to go. Vosu could probably relax a bit on the tires here as he's already got a bit on temperature. He's now up to 12th, getting past Rivadero and El Sadat. Engelhardt blocking the rear lines here, trying to keep everybody from getting past him at 11th. Vosu might lose his 12th spot here as well. But he defends at the last second, and he enters lap 7, still in 12th. 15 laps to go. Engelhardt now jumps up to 10th, taking over Schober's spot. Schober is having none of that, and she gets back into her position quite as easily. Vosu now on the inside lanes, trying to keep his position. Having a bit of trouble there, especially with Rivadero being really aggressive. Up front, Clark, Smith, Mazzoncini, and Reeves are still running in top 3. Well, we've only got 14 laps to go. I guess the late breaker did finally rear its ugly head there. Rare chance where late braking led to a crash. Vosu is struggling. Oh no, he's graining. I think we have to push him a bit further now. Engelhardt has now dropped down to 12th. Wait, what? Why is he at 12th? What the hell's going on? Oof. Vosu still having issues with tire wear. 13 laps to go, and he might need to switch out soon. He's now down at 28%. Oof. Getting an overtake against Engelhardt, but definitely not in a good spot to switch out. We definitely need more space. He's now down to 23%. Can he get back into it? Not looking too hot for a driver. 12 laps to go. Vosu is now down at 19%. We've seen some switch outs though. Clark, Smith, Reeves, Coy, and Chu are now in the pit lane. Now Vosu has to stay at it for at least one more lap so we can switch him around a bit later. Endurance is going to be the play here. Fortunately, keeping him at neutral makes the tire wear a bit of a problem, so let's just go ahead and drive him along. We'll switch him out in the next lane over. Get the fuel up as well. Parts conditions, now I can't fit the rear, can't adjust the brakes, can't adjust the axle, can't adjust the suspension as well. See if we can get that front wing up and safe. Now we are third, but he's down on tires, down 9% in fact. Most of them are. Let's see if they can actually run this. Ooh, he's having trouble there. He's now in 6th, 8th. Maybe we should have sent him over instead. Not looking too good. He's now down to 11th. Alright, that's a quick change, but he's now down at 13th. No, make that 14th. No, so he's on tail end. Got excess fuel. Front wing is looking pretty decent. Now, question is, can he get back up to at least get to 3rd? It'll be a really tight fight as we still got 10 laps to go here. Silveira gets a switch out. Now it's 9 laps. We're still too far behind. I don't think we can actually make it. Shut up a bit. Okay. Nope. Vosu is only 17, just getting past Funker. Balkan is still ahead of him. El Sadat, Silvera, and Strambi now on top. Their medium tires giving them a bit of a spot here. 8 laps to go. Strambi, Davis, and Amachi now ahead of everybody. Now, it's probably a good time to push the engines up a bit for Vosu, who's still at 17th. We've only got 8 laps to go. Let's see if we can get past everybody else and get back into the winner's circle. At least a third would be nice. To push the tires a bit as well. 7 laps to go. Now keep it neutral. I don't think he's going to lose tire heating here. Now he's at 16th, trying to get past Balkan. He's at 15th, past Balkan. Lalpecluo blocking him. Ramsey at 13th. There's a bit of a fight up front with Engelhardt and Strambi switching positions. Bosu still has to fight here. 7 laps to go. We have to see him at least at third if we want that sponsor. 6 laps remaining officially. Clark Smith has dropped to second as Reeves gets ahead of the pack. Vosu now in 14th. Almost got 13th, but Lalpecluo is blocking him on the slow corner. Now Davis is ahead of him. Can he get into it? Maybe it's time to switch it up a bit. 5 laps to go. 13th still. He still needs a lot of work to do. He is now in 12th, getting past Mazzoncini. Davis still ahead of Vosu here. And we still got a lot of drivers up front that might need a pitch or a pit switch. Ooh, good overtake there. Vosu is now at 10th, getting past 2, but he's blocked off at the corner. He's now back to 11th. Only 4 laps to go. Vosu still having trouble getting out of the lower half. Can he get back into it? He's now 11th again, but Engelhardt is now blocking him. Engelhardt failed to block him at the approach to the S-curve. He's now at 10th. Davis still ahead of him. Strambi at 7th now. Coley at 8th. Davis at 9th still. This is going to be a tough one, and we might need to switch some parts up. 3 laps to go. We might need to send him out into a quick overtake mode. Still no sign of any changes up front. We might not see any changes at all. But we're seeing some pit changes, actually, so drop it down a bit too high. Temperature still pretty decent on the tires. Wear still good at 32%, but it's only 2 laps to go and no changes up front at all. While Sue is now in 9th. Can he still get back into it? I don't think he can. Davis still ahead of him. Now it's 2 seconds ahead. Amachi sneaking up right behind him. There's a good chance he might lose the 9th place if he slips up. He's now asking to pit for fresh tires as we approach the last lap of the race. Unfortunately, Amachi jumps ahead of him on that one. We might have to switch him to conserve. Not a good sign as Amachi and Strambi now get ahead of Perez on that one. Sponsors won't be too happy. Vosu is going to be stuck in 10th for the time being. Wait, Griffin's out of fuel? Well, nonetheless, Griffin is up to 3rd, and Vosu's at 10th. Not good indeed. Unfortunately, that was a bad spot for us. But nonetheless, we're still on top for both drivers and team standings. Reeves will be happy that she manages to come back and score a win here. Looks like she's sticking to endurance tires might have been the play, but, well, the problem was we did suffer some serious issues with those crashes, so let's see if any of the scrutiny will show something weird. Once again, Rivadero suffers from parts issues, and she has been demoted 8 places. I have no idea what Archer BMR is thinking with this, but that's definitely not helping their points. Meanwhile, Kohi, despite getting fastest lap for the leg of the series, is down to 19th with a 5-second gap from the race lead. Reeves getting 28 seconds on this one was definitely a scare, to be honest. Chairman won't be happy about that. I think the sponsorships, rather the mechanic relationship will also have a bit of an issue, especially with Perez, who kind of locked up and crashed. Let's hope she doesn't have suffer any injuries, at least. Despite those points, thanks. Reeves definitely happy with that finish. Too bad we couldn't at least get a podium and get that sponsor injective on the side, but thankfully it won't hurt our finances that much. Just need to do better in the next race, and hopefully we don't suffer any crashes. Fortunately, I won't be able to do that yet. Oh, driver morale dropped. Came 7th. Chairman happiness dropped, so did marketability. Ugh. Yes, and we'll just have to live with that. Fortunately, yep. Oh, we still made some money at least, thanks to some of the bonuses, HQ income, and sponsor payouts. So I think that was a bit of a net growth, despite the fact that, yes, our drivers did suffer from that one. Let's see where we're going from here. Let's check out those mail parts first, before we go ahead with everything else. 88% drop for Perez. That's only going to take an extra 3 hours at least, so that's going to be a bit of an easy one. On my hands, I made some mistakes. He's right to be annoyed. I'm going to drop his morale there. He did lock up as well. That's 8 seconds behind. We had a mistake-free weekend. Hopefully that's going to help keep our... we got 2 new guys on the pit crew reserves, but... how's the staff? Yep, locked up again. Dang it. Our parts will be done in a couple. Oh no, that's not a good sign. A stormy Black Sea race? It's going to be a bit of a mess. Well, despite the fact that the second run at the race was a bit awful, I'd say we actually did pretty well today. We did manage to keep our objectives, and though, yeah, Perez did drop in points, but nonetheless, she's still well within striking range of the top 2, so we can probably still do a top 2, 1-2 finish here. And hopefully, once we come back to this, maybe tomorrow, maybe on the weekend, still thinking about that, we'll be able to get some better results for the other race, or the other races rather. Hopefully that will help Perez get back into the fight after that rather awful crash in Milan. Any hoot, I think that's all for me tonight. If you got any complaints or valid reactions about the stream tonight, or well, if you got anything in particular you want to talk about, please do not hesitate to drop me a line on my Twitter or my Pixiv. If you got a hankering for the older Motorsport Manager streams that I've already expired here on Twitch, or you just want to see some of the older streams I've already done, please check the VOD archive linked on the About tab of my profile page, and searchable also on YouTube under the same username Lurk at Work. That's work with a U instead of an O. By the way, if you're currently watching the VOD, thank you so much for dropping by. If you got any complaints, please drop them in the comment section below. I hope you at least get a chance to catch at least one stream or one live stream. I'd love to hear from you live. Say what you think about the current stream setup we're doing here. And if circumstances prevent you from doing so, that's fine. Being able to catch the VODs is good enough for me. Speaking of the channel, if you got a friend who might be interested in the stuff I stream, or who just wants to complain about PNG streamers in general, please, I would be grateful if you can share my Twitch account, twitch.tv/lurkatwork. That's all from me for now. Tomorrow it's going to be another video game stream. It could be another set of stages, or yeah, another set of stages for this one, or we could probably do the Red Alert Ally campaign tomorrow, but that depends on the availability of stuff. So we'll see. Just keep an ear out on the socials for all of that. That's all from me for now. Lurk at Work is now RTV. If you're still in the mood for another video game stream before you head out to bed, I can probably send you over to our senior, Atitepis VT. Is she still running? I think she's still running. She's currently doing a run of Half-Life. Yep, she's currently doing a run of Half-Life, so I can send you over there if you're still in the mood for some gaming. But if you're heading out for the night, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks again for watching, and I see y'all when I see y'all. Good night for those heading out, and stand by for those who are about to be sent over.